The story Wyatt had just returned home from show choir practice. His heart still saying notes of the day. He tossed his backpack onto the floor and called for his beloved cat, Zami, the large white feline, who resembled a fluffy bear more than a typical cat, waddled into the living room. Zami was the kind of cat who commanded attention. His round body and soft fur made him irresistible. Wyatt smiled as Zami lumbered over, his belly swaying with each step. Ready for an adventure, buddy? Wyatt asked, his excitement bubbling over. Zami blinked slowly, as if to say yes, and Wyatt took that as a green light to head for the water park. The sun was still shining brightly, and the thought of splashing around with his furry friend filled him with joy. He carefully put Zami into his harness, knowing the cat would need it in the chaos of the park. Arriving at the water park, Wyatt felt the thrill of the day wash over him. The sound of laughter and splashing water filled the air, and he could see children darting about, their faces painted with joy. He released Zami from the harness, and the cat flopped down on the ground, surveying the scene. With a gentle nudge, Wyatt encouraged him to join in the fun. Zami, however, seemed more interested in finding a sunny spot to lounge than in chasing after water slides. After a little coaxing, Wyatt led Zami to the shallow end of the pool. The water glistened under the sun, and Wyatt couldn't help but dive in, splashing about. Zami, intrigued by the movement, waddled closer to the edge, his curiosity piqued. Wyatt laughed as Zami dipped his paw into the water, then jumped back, startled by the coolness. It was a sight to behold, Wyatt splashing around while Zami cautiously approached the water, his fluffy tail flicking in excitement. But then, disaster struck. Amid the laughter and splashes, Wyatt noticed something floating in the water. He squinted, and his heart sank. Oh no, Zami, what did you do? He exclaimed, horrified to see that his beloved cat had, in fact, pooped in the water. The laughter around him turned to gasps, and Wyatt felt his face flush with embarrassment. Why would you do that? He shouted at Zami, who merely blinked at him with those big, innocent eyes. The cat seemed unfazed by the chaos he had caused. Frustrated, Wyatt quickly grabs Zombie by the harness, dragging him away from the scene of the crime. "We're leaving," he declared, his voice rising above the commotion. As they made their way to the exit, Zombie let out a series of loud, mournful cries. The sound passed through Wyatt's frustration, making him feel a twinge of guilt. I know, but you can't just poop in the water like that," he said, shaking his head. Zombie's cries echoed through the park, drawing attention from passers-by who couldn't help but chuckle at the sight of a boy dragging his oversized cat toward the semi-truck. Once inside the truck, Wyatt slammed the door shut, and Zombie flopped down on the seat, still meowing in protest. "You're lucky you're cute," Wyatt muttered, trying to keep a straight face. He glanced at Zombie, whose face was a picture of betrayal. "Guess what? I'm going back to the water park," he said, a grin breaking through his irritation. Zombie's eyes widened, and he let out another loud wail, as if to say he was not in favor of this plan. Wyatt turned the key in the ignition, and the truck crumbled to life. As they drove away, Zombie continued to cry from the passenger seat, his fluffy body slumping in defeat. Wyatt couldn't help but chuckle, despite the chaos of the day. "You should have been there, Zombie. It was awesome," he exclaimed, his voice filled with excitement. As they pulled away from the water park, Zombie's cries faded into the background, and Wyatt felt a sense of anticipation for their next adventure. After all, every great story needed a little chaos to make it memorable. Next story button.